Hello, my name's Peter, and I am your facilitator for the intervention or the life skills group to do with resume writing. And I just want to start off this group session by making sure everybody knows who each other are. So I'll have you all do just a brief introduction with your name and just say how you're doing today. Okay. So Maddie, I'll have you go first, and then after that, you can just go in a row. Does that sound good?
Sounds good. My name's Maddie, and I'm in my final semester of the accounting program, and I'm taking this session so that I can improve my resume writing.
All right, that sounds good.
Perfect. I'm Kayla. I'm 25 years old, and I'm in my last year of the paralegal course, and I just want to touch up my resume before actually sending it out in the workforce so I can hopefully find something in my field. A little hesitant, but got to start somewhere.
Yeah, that sounds great. We're always hesitant when we want to send out emails. It's never, or not emails, sorry, resumes. It's not necessarily a fun thing sometimes, but once you get a lot of practice with it, it should be easy. That's for sure.
I'm Claire. I'm 26, and I just graduated from computer science program, and I want to target my resume to specific employers.
Yeah, that sounds great, Claire. So that's one thing that is a very good practice to have with resumes is making sure that you write a new resume for your employers, and they like to see that effort. And then also they'll see that you're trying to be specific to them, and that will actually give you a better chance of getting the job. So that's definitely something to look forward to when you're doing your resumes. All right, so I just want to go briefly over, now that we've finished the introductions, just want to go with what the rules are going to be for the group. So the first one I just want to say right away is just respect each other. So if somebody else is speaking, just to try and give them enough time for their thoughts, and also to be on time for the group, because we are going to be covering a fair amount of material. So if you end up missing out on some of the material, it might be hard to go back. And then that drinks are allowed, but no food. Sorry, it's because we're trying to rent a Algonquin room here, and they have a food issue, but drinks are allowed. And then after that, no phones. I just say no phones. Like, if you have to look something up online during our session for the resume writing, that's fine, but I'll let you know when you can use your phones looking something up. I just don't want it to be a distraction if people are getting messages and things like that. And then now what I want to start off with is a good icebreaker for the group. So I want you to give me each, and I'll start with you, Maddie. So I want you to give me one word that you'd use to explain how you feel about resume writing.
One word. Unorganized.
Okay, fair enough. And then over to you, Kayla.
I guess I would say I'm a little unsure because I feel like I'm outgoing and I'm pretty talkative as a person, and I think that I could sell myself through my vocabulary and just interacting with others, but I don't really think I can on paper, and that's the real point of taking this program.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. Uncertainty is definitely a thing, and especially for resume writing. A lot of people are usually uncertain when they're sending out their resumes, that's for sure. All right, and Claire?
Difficult.
Difficult? No, that's fair. Resume writing is definitely, it can be a difficult thing, especially if you're trying to target your resumes, which is something that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want you to just go into further explanation with that. So, Maddie, I want you to explain why you feel unorganized sometimes.
I pretty much feel unorganized because I just have so much going on and I don't know what to put in my resume, because as a student, I don't have a lot of experience, but I have like relevant experience, but I have experience with like little things here and there. So I don't know how to organize it all in my resume for it to make sense, basically.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. And that's something that we're definitely going to be focusing heavily on in this resume writing course. So it's one thing that to know you have that you have organization skills. It's just it's going to be different about how you're trying to set that up on a resume and how you're going to try and present everything you want to present to people, right? So
Yeah.
we'll definitely have plenty of practice of that, and we'll even be reviewing, good and bad resumes, so you'll get an idea. And Kayla, so you're saying uncertainty when it comes to resumes. Can you explain that further?
Well, like Maddie, I don't really have that much experience, especially in my field. I worked in fast food as a teenager in my early adulthood, so it doesn't really correlate to what I've been studying. Although I do know I have potential, but it's just getting my resume out of a stack and getting the employer to pick it and choose me for an interview. And I think I'm not a strong candidate for that, and I'm hoping that this will change that.
Yeah, and I think this will definitely help you with that. Uh, that's where it comes into focusing your transferable skills to an employer. So that is something that we'll definitely be working on heavily in this course because that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we can transfer any skills that you have into something that you're going to be potentially looking at after you're done your program, right? And then Claire, so you said difficult. So can you explain why you said difficult?
Yes, I can. Well, for starters, there's like format of the resume, and then again, experience. I don't have any professional experience, but I do computer stuff more as a hobby. Then I decided to pursue it in school. So I don't actually have any professional experience aside from school.
Oh, that's fine. And then that's what a big part of transferring other skills. So there'll be things that you've had in your past for, say, certain types of work that you did. So that's another part where you can get transferable skills, and then also it'll be about how you explain what you learned in school. So that's going to be a really big part of this resume writing for you. And then format is one of those things that there are tons of formats out there. So we'll be able to find one that works for you, and that's why I decided to go with Indeed, because Indeed's like the main, pretty much the main search engine right now for jobs. So I focused on Indeed for that reason, because you'll see different formats, and then you'll also see how other people who don't have that much experience were able to try and apply to jobs. Or you could see how employers, how you could say transfer certain skills to employers even through just schooling. Sometimes employers will say specifically entry level positions, and so we'll definitely look for things like that. And now that we've finished with the icebreaker, so now everybody's talking, that's good, that's what I want. And now we're going to go into just the overview. So I want to just start with what you can expect over the next 8 weeks. So today it's mostly about introductions and just a brief overview of what resume writing will be like. And then, so this is what we're doing for week 1 and for this session. Our next week, it will be for resume basics. And so this is going to be held, and I just want to remind people, we're holding this group every Wednesday, and it's going to be every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. I picked that time because it's hopefully after everybody has classes, if they do have, or sorry, after everybody's done their courses. And it's hopefully late enough and early enough that I'm hoping it doesn't affect anybody's schedules. So, but if it does, if all of you come to a consensus that maybe we should pick another day, I am always open to something like that, and I could figure out how to organize a different room if it came to that. And now I'll say for week 2, so we're going to be looking at resume basics. So it's very simple things about resumes to do with just the basics of how you're going to, in the beginning, putting your information out there. In week 3, we're going to be looking at resume examples. So we're just going to scour the internet for good and bad resumes and then see what works, or you could even pick out which ones you like and which ones you don't like. And I'll be able to say if this is a good or a bad resume. And then for week 4, we're going to do resume wording. So wording can be a big thing when it comes to employers. They love action verbs. They love it in past tense. So these types of word formations. So we're going to be figuring out how to do that. And then also we're going to be looking at quantifying accomplishments. So that's just going right into how long, saying just achievements. So using numbers. And then after that, we're going to be looking into keywords for employers. So focusing on keywords that will involve employers. Then we're going to be going into editing your resume, which is a very important part when you have a finished resume. And then week 8, we're looking at your final resume. And so that's all I have to say for now, for what's going to be in this intro class. And I just want to ask, does anybody have any questions?
No.
No? We're good to go?
Yeah, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Not yet, at least. No. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's perfect. So that's just going to be just the end for this first part of the session. So we'll take a quick break. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye now.